14 years of secrets, lies, and hidden betrayals are finally coming to light. What happened behind the closed doors of Coyote Pass will shock you, and you won't believe who's been manipulating the family all along. Hit that subscribe button now because you won't want to miss a single explosive moment of this story. The courtroom doors swing open, and the air inside feels charged like a storm waiting to break. Every bench is filled, every whisper carries tension, and at the center of it all stands Christine, calm but resolute, while Cody sits across from her, attempting to project confidence that no longer feels convincing. Coyote Pass was once described as a shared dream, a symbol of unity and future security, but over time it transformed into a source of division, doubt, and suspicion. And today, those doubts are no longer confined to private conversations. They're being examined under the harsh, bright lights of a legal proceeding. The courtroom doors swing open, and the air inside feels charged like a storm waiting to break. Every bench is filled, every whisper carries tension, and at the center of it all stands Christine, calm but resolute, while Cody sits across from her, attempting to project confidence that no longer feels convincing. Coyote Pass was once described as a shared dream, a symbol of unity and future security, but over time it transformed into a source of division, doubt, and suspicion. And today, those doubts are no longer confined to private conversations. They are being examined under the harsh, bright lights of a legal proceeding. The judge enters, and the room settles into uneasy silence. The sound of the gavel landing echoes sharply, marking the beginning of what may become a turning point, not only for ownership of land, but for years of complicated relationships layered with promises and shifting loyalties. Christine keeps her eyes forward, her posture steady, reflecting someone who has spent countless nights preparing for this moment, not emotionally, but mentally, gathering documents, recalling timelines, and bracing for the possibility that long-buried records could change everything. Cody shifts in his seat, occasionally glancing toward Robin, who grips his hand tightly, her expression caught between support and fear, while Mary and Janelle sit behind Christine, watching closely, their faces revealing a mixture of anxiety and determination. They too understand that what happens here may redefine their understanding of the past. The case centers on property rights connected to Coyote Pass, yet beneath that legal description lies a deeper story about trust and representation. Christine's attorney rises and places a worn file on the table, the quiet thud of paper against wood sounding louder than any raised voice inside. That folder rests an easement agreement signed years earlier during a period when financial pressures were mounting. The document was officially recorded in county archives, yet its implications were never fully shared among the family members now seated in this courtroom. The attorney explains that the easement contains restrictions limiting development and residency rights linked to the property, and the judge studies the language carefully, noting dates, signatures, and filing confirmations. Cody's legal team immediately requests verification, questioning context and enforceability, yet the authenticity of the record is confirmed through official certification. The realization that a binding agreement exists shifts the atmosphere from speculative tension to concrete concern. Murmurs ripple through the gallery as observers process what this means. Christine remains composed, aware that this moment represents more than surprise. It represents validation of concerns she has carried quietly for years. Cody attempts to clarify, insisting that the circumstances surrounding the signing involved financial strain and urgent decision-making, but the judge reminds him that signatures carry responsibility regardless of external stress. The principle at stake is not emotional intent, but documented agreement. As discussion continues, another layer emerges, a lien connected to refinancing arrangements tied to the same property, filed within a similar time frame. This additional document suggests collateral commitments that further complicate the narrative of shared ownership. The courtroom grows quieter with each revelation as it becomes clear that Coyote Pass was leveraged in ways not openly discussed at the time. Christine's attorney emphasizes that the combination of the easement and the lien indicates a pattern of unilateral decision-making rather than transparent collaboration. Cody's defense counters by describing efforts made to stabilize finances and protect long-term interests, yet questions persist about why these filings were not openly communicated to all affected parties. Robin listens intently, occasionally whispering to Cody, while Mary and Janelle exchange glances, reflecting their own memories of conversations that now feel incomplete. The judge calls for order, reminding everyone that the court's responsibility is to examine facts, not emotions. Yet it is impossible to ignore the emotional weight carried by those present. For Christine, this is not simply about acreage boundaries or construction rights. It is about clarity regarding decisions that shaped family expectations. She recalls discussions about building plans, about shared futures, about ensuring that each child would benefit from collective investments, and as the recorded documents are reviewed, those recollections clash sharply with legal realities. The suspense deepens when testimony from a notary associated with the original filings is introduced, confirming that the signatures were executed knowingly and with full documentation. The notary explains procedural steps taken to verify identity and intent, adding credibility to the legitimacy of the records while refraining from speculation about internal family discussions. The focus remains on process and documentation, reinforcing the seriousness of recorded agreements. As the morning session progresses, it becomes evident that the property was not merely a symbol, but a financial instrument used during refinancing periods. The judge notes that the existence of these filings raises legitimate questions about authority and disclosure within shared ownership structures. Christine listens carefully, aware that the court's interpretation could determine not only distribution, but also accountability. Cody reiterates that his goal was to manage obligations responsibly and protect overall stability, yet the absence of comprehensive disclosure to the other wives complicates that narrative. Robin eventually acknowledges awareness of certain documents, explaining that she believed issues would be resolved over time. Her admission introduces another dimension to the discussion about who knew what and when, and whether silence contributed to misunderstanding. The gallery remains attentive, recognizing that this is a rare public examination of private decision-making, where legal language intersects with personal trust. By the time recess is called, the courtroom feels heavier than when proceedings began, because what was once abstract tension has transformed into tangible evidence. Christine steps aside with her attorney, reviewing notes, preparing for the next phase, while Cody confers with his counsel, attempting to reframe context and intent. The cameras outside capture images of composed faces, yet inside, each participant is processing the implications differently. For some, it signals overdue transparency. For others, it signals exposure of choices made under pressure. The afternoon session promises further examination of filings, including a trust document established 2 years after the initial easement, a trust that names specific beneficiaries connected to the property and excludes others entirely. When this document is presented, the atmosphere crackles. Shifts again because beneficiary designation carries long-term consequences extending beyond immediate refinancing concerns. The judge reads sections aloud, confirming that the trust assigns financial interest primarily to Robin and her children, prompting visible reactions from Mary and Janelle, who appear stunned by the exclusivity. Christine remains quiet, absorbing the confirmation that formal structures did not reflect earlier assurances of equal division. Cody argues that the trust was intended as a protective measure, shaped by evolving family dynamics. Yet, the court's responsibility is to interpret what is written, not what might have been hoped for. The tension in the room is palpable, not because of shouting, but because of the recognition that written words outlast verbal promises. As the day concludes, the judge indicates that the cumulative effect of the easement, lien, and trust requires thorough consideration, particularly regarding representations made about shared ownership and development plans. Christine walks out of the courtroom, aware that no matter the final ruling, something fundamental has already changed. The narrative surrounding Coyote Pass is no longer guided solely by personal recollection. It is anchored in recorded filings, verified signatures, and structured beneficiary designations. Viewers watching this unfold feel compelled to stay until the end, not merely for dramatic confrontation, but for the unfolding of layered accountability, wondering how the court will reconcile documented agreements with years of verbal assurances, and whether the final decision will prioritize recorded intent or relational expectation. The suspense remains, not because the truth is hidden, but because its full impact has yet to be declared. And as anticipation builds for the ruling, one question lingers over everyone present. What happens when the dream that united a family becomes the evidence that divides it? The morning light filters through the high windows of the courtroom, casting long shadows across polished wood as everyone takes their seats. Anticipation hangs thick in the air. Cameras and reporters are ready, poised to capture every reaction, every word, every subtle glance. Christine sits upright with her attorney beside her, the folder of documents from yesterday resting quietly on the table, but its weight is palpable. She feels the tension in her chest, every muscle alert, because she knows that the next few hours may define the legacy of Coyote Pass once and for all. Cody sits across from her, his face pale, his composure strained, as if holding it together by sheer will. Robin is beside him, her hand gripping his arm tightly, mascara running from the sobs she fought to suppress last night. The gallery is full, every whisper bouncing like static. The judge enters, his robe flowing behind him, eyes scanning the room before he brings down the gavel, signaling order and the gravity of proceedings to everyone present. The room falls silent, a silence so thick it feels as if every heartbeat can be heard. The judge begins by noting the new evidence submitted, including the USB drive containing recordings of past conversations between Cody and Robin. The judge instructs that the recordings be played to the court to assess intent and awareness in relation to the easement, lien, and trust documents. Christine leans forward, anticipating what she might hear, knowing that truth, when recorded, has a power no testimony alone can rival. The USB is inserted into the system and the screen flickers to life. The first audio plays. The voices are faint at first, then clearer. It is Robin speaking softly, concerned about what Christine might discover. Cody's response is calculated, cold, almost chilling in its precision, ensuring that she will not have access while reinforcing that Robin and her children are the only beneficiaries. The room reacts. Audibly, gasps and murmurs ripple through the gallery. Mary and Janelle sit frozen as the layers of deception unfold. Christine's fingers clutch the edge of the table, white-knuckled, yet her breathing remains steady, her mind racing to piece together timelines, motivations, and implications. Each word on the recording confirming patterns she suspected for years. The judge stops the recording and requests clarification from both parties regarding context. Cody maintains that the conversation was defensive, intended to manage perceived threats from misunderstanding and disputes, but the tone and content of the recording make clear to all present that concealment was intentional. Christine's attorney stands, highlighting that this evidence corroborates the documented filings from previous days, demonstrating deliberate concealment, fraud, and misrepresentation against other wives and family members. The judge nods, acknowledging that the combination of recorded audio and official filings forms a compelling narrative of coordinated concealment and intent to mislead legally and financially. Cody shifts uncomfortably, his earlier calm replaced by a subtle tremor. He attempts to argue that decisions were made under duress, that financial obligations required swift action, yet the judge emphasizes that the law prioritizes documented intent and transparency, and ignorance or pressure does not absolve responsibility. The gallery is tense, every onlooker understanding that what was once private is now public. The judge continues, examining the content of the trust, emphasizing that designations naming Robin and her children exclusively, while excluding Christine, Mary, and Janelle, are a crucial factor in determining equity and accountability. The revelation causes Robin to weep uncontrollably, her earlier composure shattered by the evidence now laid bare for all to witness. Christine remains focused, her eyes fixed on Cody, absorbing every word, every shift in demeanor, every subtle change as he processes the consequences of long-hidden actions. Outside the courtroom, cameras flash, capturing reactions that range from disbelief to silent vindication. The judge calls for witnesses to be sworn in to provide testimony clarifying knowledge and involvement in the preparation, filing, and concealment of documents. Robin is called first. She stands, trembling, the weight of public scrutiny pressing on, her voice fragile yet audible. She confirms prior awareness of certain documents, but attempts to frame her knowledge as protective caution aimed at shielding the family from conflict. Her explanation is interrupted by the judge, probing for specific knowledge regarding intent and role in the concealment. Christine's attorney questions her directly, highlighting inconsistencies in previous statements and the recorded audio. Every response further revealing the coordinated nature of concealment. The gallery is silent, except for the occasional sob of recognition as the court pieces together chronology and motivation. Cody rises to provide testimony, attempting to contextualize his actions, his voice alternating between defensive justification and visible frustration. He describes financial pressures.
The battle for Coyote Pass is over, but the scars of betrayal run deep, and the secrets that were buried for years have finally surfaced. Cody Brown has lost everything, but Christine, Mary, and Janelle have reclaimed what was stolen from them. If you thought this was the end, think again, because the story of hidden lies, shocking documents, and family drama is far from over. Hit that subscribe button now and stay with us as we uncover every explosive twist in this saga. You won't want to miss what comes next.